guys, this is Tarot with Kittens, Weights, and Tarot, and today is day 12 of Athene's 31 Days of Tarot. Today's prompt is what started our tarot journey, and why did we continue? Like, what started us reading tarot cards, and why did we continue, or how did we continue? Might go back to childhood. So when I was little, growing up, well, I guess we go back to when we moved to Chula Vista. So I was about 6 years old then. That was my grandparents' house. They had rented it out, and then now we were renting from my grandparents. So my mother decided she wanted to move into her parents' house and then rent from them. There were a few things in the house that were left over from the previous owners, and there was a deck of playing cards. And so I was really fascinated with these playing cards, and I would carry them with me wherever I went. I ended up finding a couple of other decks of cards in the house as well. So one of them, of course, I would attach the cards to my bicycle spokes. That I would love just kind of like shuffling cards and learning how to do all the cool weird shuffles with cards. I loved the feel of the cards. I loved looking at the cards. Every once in a while I'd play with my brother and pretend I was like a fortune teller, and I would decide that I understood what was going on in the cards. I would look at the kings and the queens and the jacks and things like that, and I would think that they were speaking to me like they were real people. So then I started thinking of the deck as like a real energy, kind of like any of my other toys. I would think of like my stuffed animals and stuff as being energies that you could play with, and it's like they had little lives all their own. And I started feeling like that with this playing card deck. And then I don't know what happened to that deck. And then going on into middle school, there were, every now and then we go over to friends' houses, and there would be like their mothers would, kind of talk about tarot cards. It was like this I don't know, it wasn't like people were all out in the open about like, oh, we're tarot readers, and it was so interesting because a lot of my friends were Hispanic, and so you go into this like very Catholic household, but then you'd see these tarot cards, and I was like, oh, okay, and I kind of talked to my mom about it, and she had the whole feeling like they were like the devil or whatever. You were messing with black magic, and that's something you don't mess with, and and we need to study the Bible and things like that. But I was really curious about it. And then when I got to high school, there were people at my high school that did read tarot cards, and I really desperately wanted to learn, but it's not like I had my own money to go to the bookstore and go get my first deck of cards, so it was more like I would find another thing of playing cards, and I'd kind of work with those and play with those. And then when I finally got to college and I was making my own money and I was kind of on my own and away from my family, I did go to Barnes & Noble, and I remember buying my first deck, and I just remember it was it's the Enchanted Tarot, something like that, the Enchanted Tarot, where it came with a book to kind of guide you on how to do readings, and if the card is in this position, then you go to this page, and this is what it means. And I think it was a really good starter deck, but there was still that part of me that was a little, I don't know what it was, but it was like I was scared to use it, because every time I used it, I would feel this energy around me that freaked me out. Because when I was younger, I used to feel those energies. I used to, hear and I was, I had my little psychic abilities, but I had shut it down because all that stuff scared me. So by reintroducing these cards, it would start to bring out that side of me that I had shut down, and so that scared me, because I'm like, no, I don't see ghosts, I don't mess with energies and things like that, because I didn't know how to handle it. I'd been given so much information of like, this is wrong and this is what you do, and so I was like, so I put those cards away. I would bring them out every now and then I'd start to feel the energies again. I'm like, oh, gotta put these away. But I desperately wanted to learn. And then when I started my student teaching, there was some little like fair that they were having for the school, and all the kids could get raffle tickets, and this was like at a middle school. And my master teacher was like, oh, we get to create a booth, you know, that the kids can use their tickets on. She says, what do you think would be really cool? And I was like, oh, could we do like a fortune telling booth? And she's like, oh yeah, that'd be great. Do you have a deck of cards? And I'm like, I do. And so just for fun, you know, I pretended to be this fortune teller, and I'm just like cranking out these cards, and I had no idea really what the cards meant, but I just start spouting off stuff based on what I see in the cards to these little middle schoolers. And turns out I'm giving like these serious readings, and when it was all done, I felt so charged and so like, oh my God, that was like a lot of fun, and you know, I was actually really doing something, and it felt so good. So I brought the cards back in, and I started like really trying to focus on them. And then I think I put them away because, you know, life happens, and I had to start adulting and start teaching and things like that. So my cards went away until let's see, maybe the first year into my real teaching job, I brought my cards back out again. But again, it was that all of a sudden I feel the energies. I'm like, whoa, gotta put these away. And it wasn't till some years later, you know, after teaching for a few years, you know, and I was living with my dude that I am now, his mother became sick. And it was the year she passed away, and she's been gone for a few years now, not that long. And I had already given away my first tarot deck, so I didn't have a tarot deck anymore. And all of a sudden, I don't know what got into me, but I just had this feeling. I was like, you know, I need a new tarot deck. Like I need a new tarot deck, and I need an oracle deck. Like it really came out of nowhere. I'm like, I need a new tarot deck, and I need a new oracle deck. So we went down to our local metaphysical shop, which is right next to our favorite burrito shop. And I walked in, and I'm looking at all the decks, and I asked the lady there, hey, what's your most popular deck? And she said the Osho Zen. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, hey, this looks really cool. It felt like really good in my hands, so I was like, I'll take this. And then I'm like looking at the oracle decks, and I see the Ascended Masters, and I grabbed that, and I felt really good with my purchases. And I told my guy, you know, because he was driving at the time, and I was like, I need this. Like, I need this tarot deck, and I need this oracle deck. Like, I need to really focus on working with these right now. And I had no idea like why, like it was so out of left field, and it was so like not what I was doing at the time. Like all of a sudden got some wild hair up my butt that was like, you need to do tarot cards right now, and you need to do oracle cards right now. And I would tell my, you know, while my boyfriend's mom was sick, I would tell her about it, and she was actually pretty cool with it. And then I don't know, I guess the rest is history. But yeah, you know, she ended up passing away, and after her death, I don't know, I guess that's when my, like all of this, you know, Kittens, Weights, and Tarot, that's, I don't know, that I'd say that's when all of a sudden there was this huge push forward to really rediscover that side of myself that I had shut down. And it was like the floodgates open. Like all of a sudden, everything that I was so scared of when I was a kid, you know, my clairvoyance and my clairaudience and all those clairs, my clairsentience, they just opened up big time. But this time I wasn't scared. I wasn't trying to push it away. I was like, I need to learn from this. I need to harness this. Like I need to tame this horse, you know, and stop running away from it. And so I just like went full on into tarot study, trying to learn everything I can. I watched so many videos here on YouTube. I read so many books. I started collecting other decks, and I realized you could have more than one deck. I always just assumed everybody just had one deck, but there were so many beautiful decks there. I started collecting decks, oracle decks, tarot decks. And then the more I studied, the more I learned, the less fear I had, the more my clairs opened up. And yeah, and then at some point I got the call in my brain that says, hey, you need to start your own tarot business. And I was like thinking, well, I already have a career, but you know, it's not like I don't have other side jobs as well. Might as well add this side job, because it's something that's really been a part of me. It's been a part of me since I was a kid. It's just I didn't know it like at that time, you know. And then there were just things that I was scared and I shut down, and I'm now for the first time feeling like I'm really me. Like, I really get to be me. I get to tell people who I am and all that I like, and I don't care what their response is. You know, if people aren't cool with what I do, I mean, that's fine, as long as we can still hang out and get along. You know, I mean, not all of us are like, you know, even our best friends, we don't always like everything our best friends do. We're not always into what they do, but I'm okay with letting people know, like, everything I do. Yes, I teach. Yes, I do photography. Yes, I opera sing. Yes, I, you know, do personal training. And by the way, I read tarot cards. And it seems like the more cool I am with it myself, the more people are cool with it around me. I've had a couple of people who are kind of like, eh, but I think the fact that I'm okay with me, that energy is put off onto other people, so they're not like, oh my gosh, you read tarot cards. And maybe it was all in my head before, and I thought that if I told people that I like tarot cards, I like, you know, the esoteric, that they would think I didn't like people thinking badly of me, or thinking that, you know, I was like a devil worshiper or something like that. But maybe that was all in my head. All those fears were all up here, and you know, because the more people I tell, the more I see people are like, okay, they're okay with it. So yeah, that's my tarot journey, and you know, and that's kind of why I've continued, is because I love it, because it is a part of me. All of this, you know, I have my, I guess, you know, my regular job stuff, but this, yeah, this is me. So, and if you guys haven't noticed that today I decided to have the Hellcat behind me. It is my dude's week to have the Hellcat, so yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any comments, or let me know what some of your spiritual journeys, your tarot journeys have been. I'm definitely going to be watching some of the other 31 Days of Tarot videos for today's prompt. If you do want to check out Anthony's channel, I'll put it in the information box down below. If you guys do want to catch a reading with me, that's also down in the information box below for my Etsy shop and my website. And then I would love to hang out with you guys on social media. So if you guys dug this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to click subscribe, and don't forget to click that notification bell for more videos just like this. And I will catch you spiritual homies later. And we are going out in the Hellcat tonight. So you like the nice hoot scoot, big ass blower. All right, I will catch you spiritual homies later. Peace, love, and chicken grease. Peace out.